Yeah, hello, good evening, everybody. It's been a while that we met. So, how are you? How's your weekend? Hope we are enjoying ourselves. We are going to the week 10, I think, of this course, and today we shall be considering ethical consideration in sports. When we talk about ethical consideration in sports, we mean there are some ethical issues that we need to consider in the world of sport. So, as we move on, I hope we enjoy ourselves. In the realm of sport, there are numerous ethical issues to be considered. However, the ethical consideration we focus, we will focus on today are namely petty corruption in sports, pattern corruption, doping, ring int, match fixing, ethics of technology in sports. So these are the major ones that we want to look at in sports today. There are numerous ethical considerations and issues in sport, but we want to limit our scope to these six that have been mentioned. So when we talk about petty corruption, this refers to the situation where athletes or team engage in unethical practices during a contest, during competitions to secure a victory, such as bribing an opponent or even bribing the official to intentionally lose, meaning that you are giving them something for them to allow you to win the competition. I think this is very, very wrong. This type of corruption is often unplanned and occurs spontaneously, but it is undermined, but it undermines the integrity of the sport by distorting the outcome without necessarily causing significant harm. So you find out that because of this mentality of winning at all costs, teams, coaches, officials go to any length to make sure that they want to win, to the extent of even bribing the opposing team or bribing the officials for them to be able to tailor the game towards the favor of another team. This is what we call petty corruption in sports. Then when you talk about battle corruption, in this case, athletes or team engage in battle corruption where one team agrees to let another win in exchange for future planned losses. Meaning that, okay, now I will allow Sheol to win. Then after this game, subsequently, whenever we meet again in one or two or three situations, I will allow Elijah's team or Anthony's team or any other person's team to win. So it is a projected type of thing. This form of corruption is particularly hard to detect because there is no direct monetary exchange. It highlights the ethical issues of maintaining competitive fairness when outcomes are manipulated without visible or tangible proof, making it a challenging issue for sports regulators to address. It becomes an issue, it becomes a problem because we cannot dictate this issue on the spot because it is allowing Barakat's team to win today, then allowing Naomi's team to win days to come, not presently. So it will be very, very hard for any official of such a competition to know that there's a better corruption plan in that situation. So then when we look at the word doping, I know many of us will understand what doping is all about. Doping talks about this situation where an athlete decides to use substances to enhance performance. Doping remains one of the most serious ethical issues in sport with significant health, moral, and ethical implications. The World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, defines doping as the use of prohibited substances or methods to enhance performance, which is seen as a direct violation of sportsmanship. The practice of doping undermines the honesty and fairness of competitions. And why testing methods have improved, the rapid advancement in performance enhanced drugs continues to challenge anti-doping efforts all over the world, not only in Nigeria, but all over the world. So we must try as much as possible to make sure that whatever thing we do, we don't allow or encourage our athletes to dope. We look at another ethical issue. We call it ring ins. ROING-INS. Ring ins. The practice of ring ins, where an athlete or animal is substituted for one with better ability, is another unethical practices in sport. In the notorious case was the year 2000 Spanish Paralympics men's basketball team, where able bodies athletes replace disabled bodies. They try to just play smart. They call themselves disabled or yes, disabled bodies or challenge athletes, whereas they were able-bodied. The discovery of this deception resulted in the team losing their gold medal and changes in the policies for Paralympic competition. Rigging violates the ethical principle of fairness and can lead to severe reputational damage when it occurs. You can see what is the essence of you, everybody, trying to now pretend to be disabled because of the mentality, like I said before, the mentality of winning at all costs. So it is another ethical issue in sports that we are looking at. The other one is match fixing. I know a lot of Nigerian coaches, Nigerian athletes have been involved in this type of situation. And it has shown not only in Nigeria, sorry, but all over the world, it has been an issue. Match fixing is perhaps one of the most perversive form of corruption in sports. It involves the manipulation of matches outcome, often driven by betting. People that bet, betting syndicates, or financial incentives. This unethical practice undermines the core value of sports, which is fairness, integrity, and unpredictability. What do you mean unpredictability is that you cannot predict. Like I'm this type of person that if I'm watching a football match as a football fan, I believe if the referee have not blown the whistle for the end of the game has not ended. Like what happened in the UEFA Super Cup of yesterday between PSG and Tottenham at 80, 87, 88 minutes. Tottenham are still with the mind that they are going to win the match. But all of a sudden, PSG scored the first goal. In injury time, they scored the second goal. The match became a 2-2 game. And at the end of the game, it was a penalty direct game, and PSG ended up winning the match. So you cannot predict. But in this situation, because of these unethical practices, you find out that because they have fixed the match, they know the end from the beginning. They want to try to be God, but it is not possible. But it is an ethical issue that we need to fight against in the world of sport. Match fixing not only affects the legitimacy of the sport, but also erodes public trust with repercussions on sponsors, fans, and the financial valuability of competition. So you find out that when match is fixed, every of these things, the sponsors and so on, their level of integrity will drop from the spectators and from the fans that are watching the game from outside. We now look at ethics of technology in sport. Nowadays, technology is taking a lot of these situations. The use of technology in sport raises important ethical questions about fairness and the integrity of the competition. You look at the VAR they use in football competitions, although we cannot be a spectator and become an official, but in so many of these decisions, a lot of things are still affected. Critics argue that technology can dehumanize sports and increase costs, particularly in lower level of competition. The integration of technological innovation such as performance enhancing equipment or technological aids also pose the ethical dilemma of whether technological advancements are diminishing the value of athletes' performance itself. In some sports, such as speed skating, technological advancements have been credited with accounting for a significant portion of performance improvement, raising questions about the fairness of competition when technology plays such a pivotal role in it. A lot of technology innovation has come into a lot of sports. Different sports have their own technological advancement, but are they an advantage to those sports or a disadvantage? It's a question that we need to continue to ask ourselves. Ethics in sport is not merely a theoretical construct, but a practical necessity that underpins the values and principles essential to maintaining the integrity of athletic competitions. From issues like match fixing and doping to broader concerns about equity, diversity, and the impact of commercialization, the ethical challenges facing sports today are multifaceted and demand proactive engagement from all stakeholders. So you find out that it is a duty call for every one of us that are in the world or in the business of sport to make sure that these ethical issues mentioned and others are looked into so that our sporting system, our sport, will not be destroyed. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see with the material posted and the slide that when we talk about the issue of ethics in sports, they are not just theoretical, but they are issues that we need to practice and make sure that sports maintain its position in the business world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for this. So, like I said, it will be on your LMS. It will be on the YouTube channel also. So try as much as possible, if you have missed the lesson, to go through it and then prepare yourself for the next time that we meet. So we can decide to ask our question as we continue our class. Thank you.